Afternoon, Miss Bridgewater. How are you today?
I'm okay, Your Honor. How are you?
Good.
Mm,
Let's see the SAP reset date, please.
it's June the 2nd.
Thank you.
Did you get the add-on calendar?
I did. Thank you.
All right, we're ready when you are, Your Honor.
Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. If you do not have a private attorney, we're providing you with the assistance of a public defender or a conflict defender this afternoon if you choose to utilize their service. Uh, who do we have first?
We have position number 10, Ms. Greer.
And who's representing Ms. Greer this afternoon?
Hi,
Miss,
Judge. I'm so sorry. Coming on a little bit late. Are we on Miss Greer? Did I hear that correctly?
yes, yes. Good afternoon, Ms. Rosenhuber. We're a bit early, so no, you're not you're not late. We just um, let's see. Good afternoon, Ms. Greer. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003180K with a hit and run and false report of an accident.
And Judge, she's also position 11.
Okay, thank you. And in addition, Ms. Greer, in case 26 CR 003181K, you've been charged with hit and run, false failure to report an accident, and improper left turn. Let's see. Is there a history? Good afternoon, Ms. Hardy.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Their last arrest was September the 10th, 2016 out of Fulton County for obstruction and simple battery. They have 3 total cycles, nothing further to report.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Tucker.
Good afternoon. We're asking for a $2,500 good bond on the hit and run in position 10 and a $1,000 good bond on the failure to report accident in position 10 for a $3,500 total good bond with conditions no further contact with Teresa Hunter and to have no driving unless she has a valid license, current registration, and valid insurance. The facts in this case, the victim, Miss Hunter, was getting her grandkids on the school bus. She got into a verbal argument with the defendant, who used to talk to her son, but they were not on good terms. The defendant made a comment about running the victim over, so she replied, "You won't run me over." And the defendant got in her car and hit her with her car and then drove away. Never reported it. In position 11, we're asking for 2,500 good on the hit and run, 1,000 good on the failure to report accident, and 1,000 good on the improper turn for a total of 4,500 with no further contact with Vicky Prather, as well as all of the conditions about driving. In this case, when officers arrived at the scene, all the parties had left, but the victim had left to take her kids to the hospital because the kids were in the car when this happened. But she did happily return to the location to tell the officers about what happened. She was traveling westbound on Sullivan Road when the defendant pulled out of a business, attempting to make a left turn and cut the victim off and sideswiped her right front passenger panel and damaged both of the doors on that side. The defendant did stop at first to inspect the damage, but then started yelling at the victim, and ended up driving off. So the victim was able to get a picture of her tag before she left. But this is 2 cases of hit and run. 2 cases where she left and was not held responsible, and they were both in 2025, but that's because she absconded justice. So we believe, by the basis of these charges, that she is a flight risk, as well as in position 10, that was aggressive driving. We may need to add another charge. But at this time, we're asking for 3,500 on position 10 and 4,500 on position 11.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Rosenhoven.
Thank you, Judge. Miss Greer is 36 years old. She is a lifelong Georgia resident. She has two children, ages 9 and 12. Other family that lives in Georgia include her mother, and, well, she's mentioned her entire family lives here. The address on file is still a good address for her. Judge, she's currently working towards getting her GED, and she does attend Atlanta Technical College, where she is able to sort of get a dual degree in both her GED as well as take some college courses. She's been working at the same company for the past 2 to 3 months. She's forklift certified and is working on her CNA as well as her early childhood education degree. Your Honor, hearing some of the criminal history is a bit older, and also Ms. Greer's assertion that she has actually handled these two cases through her insurance company. While I haven't been able to see the actual documentation, she advised that she does have proof that perhaps she has already handled these. We would ask the court to issue a bond not to exceed a $2,000 surety. Thank you.
Okay, in position 10 for the hit and run will be $1,000 good bond. For the failure to report, a $500 good bond, making for a total of a $1,500 good bond. No driving without proper credentials, and no contact with Teresa Hunter. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. For position 11, for the hit and run, a $500 good bond. For each of the other charges, a $250 good bond. It makes for a total of a $1,000 good bond. No further contact with Vicky Prather. Same driving. No driving without proper credentials, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Greer.
All right, next we got position number 39, Ms. Wright.
Good afternoon, Ms. Wright. You have been charged in case 26CR003188G with battery and theft by shoplifting. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Bear with me one moment, Your Honor. I'm generating that one right now.
Okay.
Okay, there are 3 arrest cycles. Misdemeanor conviction in 2013 for theft by shoplifting. An FTA from 2025. Nothing further to report.
Good afternoon, Mr. Soroka.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This was the May 16th incident, Target 2539 Piedmont Road in Atlanta is the location. The defendant had taken several items here, clothing, a backpack, baseball bat, and other selections, and also some food items. And I tried to conceal those items here, totaling roughly $182. The state's recommendation here. Oh, and there was a incident with Mr. Julian Flint, the victim of the battery here, where she had bitten him on the right arm. He's a security officer that confronted him and that was bleeding on his right arm, the bite mark. And officers observed that the state's recommendation here with the history, the theft by shoplifting, the FTA, is going to be a $2,500 total surety. That would be $1,500 on the battery and $1,000 on the shoplifting offense here, Judge. We'd ask for a stay away from that Target location, 2539 Piedmont in Atlanta. No further contact with Julian Flint. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And I believe that should be it for the state.
Hey, yes, Ms. Rosenhoover.
Thank you, Judge. Miss Wright is 32 years old. She's a lifelong Georgia resident. She has 2 children that reside with her. The address on file is a good address for her. She resides there with her best friend as well as her children. She's a high school graduate and also completed 1 year of college. And while she is currently unemployed and has been for about the past 4 months, she's actively seeking work and was most recently working at an Amazon warehouse. Judge, she's currently also working towards getting her nursing certificate or her CNA. She has about 3 weeks left to complete that. She also did confide in me that she does suffer from some MH, and I believe she has been unmedicated for some time now. So, Judge, our request, given her limited funds and her ties to the community, would be a pretrial signature bond with the condition that she submit to an MHET.
And for the battery, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the theft, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Social worker visit to assess for an MHET. Stay away from the target on Piedmont Road. No further contact with Julian Flint. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Wright.
All right, let's get add on 3, Mr. Stars.
Good afternoon, Mr. Stiles. You have been charged in case 26CR003198L with battery family violence, 2 counts. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Yes, Your Honor. Their last arrest was July the 30th, 2024 out of Lowndes County for a probation violation. There are 18 total cycles. Felony conviction in 2019, possession of cocaine, possession of a firearm. They got first offender on that and it was sealed in 2021. There's a 2018 misdemeanor battery, 2023 simple battery family violence. Appears to be an open case under 25 SC 003550, aggravated assault, simple battery, and hindering a call for 911. Nothing further to report.
Mr. Siraka?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place May 17th, 2026. This was 23 Larkin Place in Atlanta. It's an apartment complex. Officers had responded here to a domestic dispute involving a weapon.
Mr. Siraka, excuse me. I apologize. I just want to
Yes.
make sure that Attorney King is on the line. I'm just noticing that he's representing Mr. Stiles. Are you with us, Mr. King?
Yes, Your Honor. I apologize.
Okay. No,
I
no worries.
honestly didn't. Well, I just wanted to say this. Is there a possibility that I can speak to him? Because I just found out about this an hour ago and I'm not prepared. I mean, I know how to do a bond hearing, but I got to talk to him because I didn't know he was
No.
arrested.
Okay, you're fine, Mr. King. So we'll make him available in courtroom 2. Courtroom 2, is it can we just give Attorney King the number and have him call, or how would y'all like to?
4461. 612. 2060.
Say it again?
2060?
Yeah, 44612680. I'm sorry, 2060. I'm sorry.
2060.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so
I'll jump
if you'll
back
make
on
him,
in a few minutes.
okay, we'll make him available. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
All right, number 29, Mr. Richardson will be next.
And Mr. Richardson needs a conflict attorney, is that correct?
No, I did his birthday earlier. I thought he was on. He's not on yet.
Say it again?
Yeah, talk to Dennis Murphy though. I thought he was on already. Just so
I had a note that Mr. Murphy, and somebody tell me if I'm wrong, that Mr. Murphy is not going to be joining us today.
That's what he said, Your Honor, but he said if he get done, but if the courtroom know that they talked to him, then I guess he's coming, because when I contacted him, he was in Judge Richardson courtroom.
Okay, so good afternoon, Ms. Young. We are expecting him at some point.
Did, let's confirm with courtroom too. So Mr. Murphy did talk to him?
He did.
Okay, well, we'll be expecting him at some point.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Young. So can we hold all of Mr. Murphy's cases until he's with us?
Yeah. All right, number 9, Mr. Fussler.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Fusler. You have been charged in case 26CR003178D with criminal trespass and disorderly conduct. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Yes, their last arrest was April 18th, 2025, out of Atlanta for theft by shoplifting. They have 15 cycles out of Georgia, 7 out of Texas. There's a 2023 aggravated assault. It appears that they're on probation for that. A 2023 misdemeanor criminal trespass. S- Nothing further to report.
Thank you. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, considering the extensive history, I cannot recommend a signature bond. I'm requesting a $500 good bond on each count for a total of 1,000 with a stay away from MARTA, and a social worker visit to check for any MH or BH issues. These facts allege that this defendant was using profanity and threatening patrons on the MARTA. When officers went to speak with him, a check revealed that he had an active 365-day suspension that went into effect June 20th, 2025, and is good through June 30th, 2026, or maybe June 20th and 20th.
Are you still with me? Oh, are you done, Ms. Tucker?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Yes, Ms. Rosenhuber.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Fusler is 62 years old. He has resided in Georgia for the past 30 years. He has 5 grown children, one of which does live in Georgia. He resides at the address on file with his mother. He's a high school graduate and completed some college. He also served in the armed forces and the Air Force between 1981 and 1985. He has a degree in construction and culinary arts, and he has his OSHA certification as well. Judge, he also advised that he has received treatment for alcohol previously, and he's in the process of applying for additional VA benefits to continue with that treatment. At this point, he's advised me that he's not able to afford much of anything as far as a good bond is concerned. So we would request a pretrial signature bond in this case. Thank you.
Each charge will be $100 cash bond, makes for a total of a $200 cash bond. Stay away from MARTA. Social worker visit to assess for an MHET. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
27, Mr. Parks is next.
Good afternoon, Mr. Parks. You have been charged in case 26CR003189J with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Their last arrest was April 19th, 2017, out of Atlanta for possession of marijuana with intent and possession of a firearm. There are 22 total cycles. There was a driving while license suspended or revoked in 2006, 2004, false identity documents to law enforcement. Nothing further to report.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker.
Yes, Judge, we're asking for a $2,500 good bond in this case with no further contact with Monique Denson and to stay away from her location at 5472 Bighorn Pass in South Fulton. These facts allege that the victim was trying to sleep on the couch when the defendant came up and punched her in the head. She got up and ran away. and he just chased her, striking her multiple times, throwing her to the floor. He was upset that her child's father was at her daughter's graduation. And the incident was caught on home video. This victim did sustain a scratch on her elbow, and we were able to speak with Miss Denson. She says they've been together about 3 years, lived together about 2.5 years. She says they don't share any children. She does confirm the events in the warrant and is looking into getting a TPO now. She does not want him around her. Said her son was home, but he did not see this. But she wants him to stay away from the home because her 3 children live there as well as her. So yes, she did indicate she would not be on Zoom if we could sound for her just in case. But in consideration of all that, we're asking for a $2,500 good bond, no further contact, and to stay away.
If Miss Monique Denson is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Good afternoon, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Mr. Parks is 51 years old, Your Honor. He does have 4 children. One of them is adult, and 3 of them are still minors. So he is working really hard to take care of his 3 minor children. After 10th grade, he became involved in the music industry, and he does some kind of like recording, and he works with a Delta airline to do something with music. Your Honor, because of his heart failure and medical condition, he does have to get out of the jail as soon as he can, so he can take care of his medical needs. He has no objection to stay away and no contact. Last arrest that he had was 2017, almost 10 years ago. We asked for signature on bond through pretrial level 1 so he can take care of his medical condition. Thank you.
And it will be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from the Bighorn Pass address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Parks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Isn't that 21, Mr. Jackson next?
Good afternoon, Mr. Jackson. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003156J with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Their last arrest was July 16th, 2025 out of Fulton for an FTA. They have 21 total cycles. Appears to be an open case for driving while license suspended or revoked and obstruction under 24 CR 004475K. There is a 2026 misdemeanor conviction for disorderly conduct, a 2023 driving while license suspended or revoked, a 2022 theft by taking, FTA from 2020, 2022, 2023, and 2025. Nothing further.
Draco?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident was from April 1st, 2026, 2909 Campbellton Road in Atlanta, the apartment complex at that location. Officers had responded in reference to a domestic and spoke with the victim here. Miss Zajano Porter, she explained that the defendant, who is her boyfriend of 11 years, father of her 3 children, got into an argument that escalated when he began pushing her, pulling her hair, punching holes in the wall at the location, just completely losing it here. He damaged multiple pieces of furniture and doors before leaving the area. This was in the presence of it says 2, but really they're 3 children. The youngest one, who was 1 year old, was not accounted for here, but we did speak with the victim about that. He had ripped out a braid from her hair, and the officer observed that braid that had been ripped out. One of the children was actually holding it, and the defendant wasn't there upon the officer's arrival. So that's why this is coming in later, even though this was April 1st. So still a recent incident. Notably his conviction for criminal trespass, reckless conduct, 3 counts of reckless conduct, from the 23 SC 186291 case. That was amended from charges of criminal damage to property in the second, battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the third, against the same victim for climbing through a window in her home after she told him he needed to leave. That window was already broken, apparently from a previous incident, and once inside, told him to leave. And he then struck her in the face and also high kicked her in the face into the living room wall, leaving a hole in the wall. That took place in front of one of their children, juvenile MJ. And probation, I saw, was revoked in that case for failure to do pretty much anything that he was required to do. Anger management, proof of employment, proof of confinement for the weekend for the sentences he was required to serve. So in addition to that, Judge, you heard the FTAs. We listened into the jail calls here. Um, I'll touch on victim contact very briefly first. We spoke with Ms. Porter. She confirmed the events in the report. Her children were present. She states, however, they didn't see the incident, but they were there. She explained that one of her children had a piece of her hair in their hands, and she and the defendant have been together for 11 years. All 3 of her children are his. They are in a relationship. She states they don't currently reside together. And she states the defendant's never done anything like this before. That is clearly not the case, Judge. She was asking for a signature bond and is fine with contact. We're incredibly concerned about her safety here. Just as well, we listened in on those jail calls, as I'd mentioned, and he was calling the victim in this case. He had instructed her to, when called on by the court, answer the call and advise the court that she was not afraid of him and that he takes care of the children, and that she knows what to say so he can bond out. Also had discussed there was some need to travel for Florida. So with those 2 things, we are concerned for intimidation of witness here, obstruction, the administration of justice, Judge, reoffense, and in addition to flight, we're worried about failing to appear, given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 failures to appear, 4 since 2020, Judge. So the state's recommendation here is going to be a $7,500 surety. No further contact with Miss Porter, no further contact with the children of Miss Porter. Stay away from 2909 Campbellton Road in Atlanta. That is an apartment complex, Your Honor. And no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And if he does bond out, we would recommend the Family Violence Intervention Program.
If Ms. Porter's on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Jackson is 31 years old. Actually, he is not a flight risk, Your Honor. He drove voluntarily 6 hours from Florida to Georgia just to turn himself in. He got a really good job that he was dreaming to have. And he does not want this to be a hindrance for him to pursue his dream job right now. It is a construction for NASA, which is really prestigious. And he's got a contract to work there for 1 year, but he drove 6 hours himself. He could just be a fugitive. However, he chose not to be. And I don't think he will abandon another court date at all. He learned a lesson from 2025, so he does take care of his matters. And I don't want him to be away from his 3 children either. Your Honor, they don't live together right now. So we asked for no further violent contact. This happened almost 2 months ago. And he is graduated from high school and he has a good job. And we do request for a signature on bond for this case. Thank you.
Will be a $3,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Porter. Stay away from the Campbellton Road address. for the children, the minor children, third-party transfer for visitation, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck, Mr. Jackson. Courtroom 2, I see that Mr. Murphy is with us. So if we can handle his cases, that'd be appreciated. Afternoon, Mr. Murphy.
Good afternoon, Judge. I have an announcement as it pertains to Lorenzo Henderson.
Okay.
And he was charged with criminal trespass. I spoke to him and he has authorized me to waive this hearing this morning and send it to the division judge.
Okay, well, so to waive his presence?
Yes, waive his presence.
Okay, and I take it that Mr. Henderson's not in courtroom 2?
He's not.
Okay, so let's take care of Mr. Henderson, who has been charged in case 26 CR 003142C with criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Yes, Your Honor. His last arrest was September the 12th, 2025 out of Fulton for battery, cruelty, and obstruction. It appears that they're on probation under 25 SC 006759. There's also, there's 8 arrest cycles. Open case 24 SC 000584, possession of methamphetamine with intent, possession of cocaine with intent. There is an FTA from 2025. Nothing further.
Yes, thank you. Mrs. Sirocco?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident was a February 16th incident, 2026, 204 Summer Crossing, Sandy Springs. It's the River Vista Apartments. Officer had made responded to the location reference to an entering auto that had occurred. They made contact here with Mr. Dermash Best. He explained that her daughter's ex-boyfriend, our daughter is Zaire Robinson, had and that's the defendant here, had just smashed the window to her vehicle and stolen a few items, and one of her daughter's items from within that vehicle. And she had heard an unexpected individual knocking at the front door. And when she answered the door, it was him standing at the entrance. She demanded to be let inside to speak with Robinson, retrieve personal items. She no longer lived at that location, began trying to push the door open, enter the residence, and there was commotion where the Best Robinson, who was also inside the residence, came to the door to assist her mother with trying to keep the defendant out. And the two then successfully repelled him from entering, but he didn't leave. He was screaming at them, demanding to be let in. And she received a text message from the defendant and stating that she needed to check her vehicle's window. Not from the defendant, received a text message regarding the victim's window here. And that had been smashed. There were several items taken, iPad, a handgun, actually, several other items, I believe, and there was a neighbor who observed the incident as it was taking place, saw a suspect with a brick in his hand run from the direction of the building and throwing the brick at the neighbor's vehicle, and picking up and then throwing it again. So this was, defendant was later arrested here. I see a good deal of other history here: battery, family violence, willful obstruction conviction, 2022. Another battery, family violence conviction, 2023. Oh, both those were 2023. Criminal trespass and damage to property from 2023 as well. And then additionally, I saw battery conviction from 2023. So there's a lot of recent history here. That case was closed for transfer 25 CR 00558 That was a battery family violence based on his prior. And I believe you heard the open felony drug case, Your Honor, and the other open cases here for failure to appear, several open failures to appear. The state's recommendation is going to be an $8,000 surety, no further contact with Zoe Best Robinson, no further contact with Zaire Robinson. Stay away from 204 Summer Crossing in Sandy Springs. Again, those River Vista apartments. And also, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. I believe that is all. We did speak with the exception of the victim contact, we spoke with the victim. She explained that all the information is accurate. Defendant smashed her window and has done numerous harmful acts. She does not want the defendant released from jail. Does not want the system to fail her here. She contacted her daughter, who's in a relationship with him, and tried to and tried to persuade her to drop the charges. She doesn't want any contact with the defendants, wants a stay away order, and explained that the items in the report as stolen were determined to have been removed from the vehicle by her friend the night before the incident. So ultimately, those items were not taken by the defendant, it seems, as well. It seems that she states that the defendant physically abuses her daughter and advised that she had photographed documenting the abuse. She's going to be able to send that to us, and we look forward to receiving them, Judge. So there's a lot going on here. We are concerned for victim safety, and that's rationale behind the state's recommendation. Also, the 2026 and 2025 FTAs.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy.
Judge, I just asked for a reasonable surety on their end. 8,000 is a little bit excessive. I was looking for something in the range of $3,000 surety bond, which would be a reasonable bond to make at the appropriate time once he's cleared up his other holes.
Okay, will be a $3,000 good bond, no further contact with the alleged victims, stay away from the incident location, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Yeah, number 29, Mr. Richardson.
And this is Mr. Richardson before me here?
Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Richardson. You've been charged in case 26 CR 003193F with 2 counts of simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Their last arrest was June the 29th, 2025 for DUI by Georgia State Patrol. There are 20 arrest cycles, arrests out of Georgia and Hawaii. There was a felony conviction out of Hawaii in 2011 for assault, a 2009 misdemeanor conviction, possession of marijuana. Nothing further to report.
Thank you. Mr. Sraka?
Yes, Your Honor. In addition to that, I did see there was a kidnapping charge from Hawaii 2010 and harassment charge from Hawaii 2010. I know the latter was dismissed. It's not quite clear. Maybe pretrial could advise what they found on the former in terms of what the disposition was. But I did say presumably open, I believe it's out of county DUI case from 2025. He was arrested on that. I believe it was June. With respect to this incident here, this incident took place on, and this is Larry Richardson, right? I've got the right one?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. This was a May 17th incident, 929 Charles Allen Drive in Atlanta. They responded to an injured person / assault call that happened on the street near the location. And the caller, Miss Amber Coulter, explained she observed a male actively attacking a woman. Later identified as the victim here next to a black SUV with the door open. And the officer made contact with the defendant, and he matched the description provided. He was instructed to exit the vehicle and was identified as a defendant. The victim had left the scene, and they were later, excuse me. He states that nothing happened here. When asked about it, the Mr. Anthony Coulter and Miss Amber Coulter, who was that 911 caller, Judge, had approached officers and explained that they were witnesses to this and observed Mr. Richardson punching, slapping, and slamming Miss Harrell against the black SUV. She had returned and was evaluated by Grady. The had been, excuse me, he admitted to calling her derogatory names, denied any physical contact, saying it was just a verbal altercation. They had been at a park picnic, he had stated, where they consumed alcoholic beverages, and she couldn't hold her bladder and urinated in the vehicle that they were driving in. Excuse me, they've been living together for a year. When they spoke with Miss Harrell, she explained that she became fearful of Mr. Richardson due to a prior incident the previous week in which he punched her in the face, causing a bloody nose. So that was a week before this, she stated. And according to her, he then grabbed her, attempted to force her into the SUV against her will, and slammed her against the vehicle. She eventually broke free and walked away. And the defendant was ultimately arrested here. With his history, should state, we did speak with Ms. Harrell. They've been together for just under 2 years, she states. They don't share children, but they do live together. Confirm the events as far as she could recall them. She doesn't recall the slapping or punching, but she doesn't doubt it, she states. The defendant has put his hands on her in the past. There have been previous incidents, and where was this? Where it may well be the case that his mom may have been subject to one of those bond scams, Your Honor, because there's no bond set on this, and apparently, according to his mom, that it's already paid. So that is very unfortunate. And if Mr. Murphy could provide us with the details. The state's recommendation here, given the statements regarding prior violence, his history, and recent arrests. We're recommending a $6,000 surety, $3,000 on each simple battery family violence charge. No further contact with Ashley Harrell. Stay away from 3910 Conley Downs Lane in Decatur. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. I believe that's all for the state judge. And I think the victim may be on the Zoom, but I believe she doesn't want to speak today.
Okay, well, if Ms. Harrell is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Mr. Murphy?
Judge, my client's age 37, and he does live in DeKalb County. The address that the state had mentioned, my client did reside there, but he's indicated that he can find another place to reside. He's employed in sales in the granite and marble countertop industry. He's been in sales for 6 years. He does have gainful employment, and he has some resources to find another place to stay. So he would certainly stay away from the alleged victim pending the outcome. This was alcohol driven. Both parties had been consuming alcohol. Judge, I'd ask for a reasonable bond in the amount of $3,000 surety bond, Your Honor.
All right, for each charge will be $1,000 good bond, makes for a total of a $2,000 good bond. No further contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from the incident location. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Judge, as a housekeeping matter, if we can allow him a one-time visit with a sheriff or a police officer, if there's possessions there.
That's fine with the court.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, 34, Mr. Terry.
Good afternoon, Mr. Terry. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003167A with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Which Mr. Terry is this?
Position
Should be
34, Patrick?
Okay, the last arrest was June the 23rd, 2010, out of Town and Country, Missouri for driving while intoxicated. They have 2 cycles out of Missouri. Nothing further to report.
Thank you. Mrs. Rocco?
Yes, Your Honor. Is there any way we could bring up the cross defendant in this case, Kayla Terry, their husband and wife?
Okay, Ms. Terry's there at ACDC?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, good afternoon, ladies. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. If you do not have a private attorney, we'll provide you with the assistance of a public defender or conflict defender this afternoon if you choose to utilize their service. Ms. Terry, you have been charged in case 26 CR 003170D with battery, family violence, and criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
No history to report for this defendant.
Ms. Rosenhuber, this is your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. So we have everyone with us. Yes, Mr. Sirocco.
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendations for both, I can advise, are signature bonds through pretrial services. We'd recommend 2 days anger awareness for each party. No further violent contacts with the cross defendant. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. This was a violent incident took place May 15th, 2026. It was like Ray's Killer Creek in Alpharetta, 1700 Mansell Road. The husband here, Mr. Patrick Terry, is alleged to have struck her in the face, causing bruising and swelling to her lip. She's alleged to have struck him in the face, causing there was an abrasion. Officers observed these injuries. It's also stated that Miss Terry had taken and thrown his phone, causing damage to the screen protector. So the state would ask that signature bonds with the anger awareness, no further violent contact, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol be granted in these cases.
Any objection to any of that, Mr. Murphy?
No, Judge, and my client addressed in DeKalb County. He's been married to Terry for over 2 years, but they do own a home over in DeKalb County. They have a stable address, and my client is a white collar employee, so to speak. He's a college graduate. We'd ask the court to allow that signature bond therein.
Thank you. Any objection, Ms. Rosenhuber?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So for Patrick Terry will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, 2 days of anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Terry, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. For Kayla Terry, for the battery, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the criminal trespass, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, 2 days of anger awareness, no further violent contact with the alleged victim, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you both. Who do we have next?
Head on 3, Mr. Styles.
Okay, I previously addressed Mr. Stiles, who was accused of 2 counts of battery, family violence. Mr. King, do you need to go back over the history that we've already provided?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Murphy, do you have further business before the court? Okay, Mr. Sirocco?
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident was from May 17th, 23 Larkin Place in Atlanta. It's an apartment complex. Officers had responded to a domestic dispute involving a weapon there. They made contact with the defendant as well as the victim. He had alleged that she was throwing items around in the apartment and grabbed a Don Julio bottle, swinging it at him, and retrieved a knife and charged at him. And on the inverse side of this, she'd explained to police that he had been arguing about her not wanting others to come in and out of their apartment. She states he sells drugs there. She disapproves of that. The situation escalated. He began to punch her repeatedly, she explained that he then grabbed a knife and attempted to charge at her. She grabbed a Don Julio bottle at that point and ran outside to a friend's house. She had marks on her forehead and left temple. There was also a burn mark on her right forearm, which she explained was from the defendant burning her with a lit cigarette. There has been ongoing domestic violence in there, according to her, when she explained to police. Been married for 1 year and are living together. No knife or Don Julio bottle was recovered at the scene. There was a search of the area behind the trash can. And she indicated the items that Miss McDowell indicated Mr. Stiles threw away were located there. Mr. Stiles, the defendant here, later admitted to placing them there after initially and denying involvement in them. The defendant was arrested here. For a brief refresher, but also some more information, he was convicted of battery family violence under 15 CR 001487. There's also another prior conviction, simple battery family violence 15 CR 001486. In addition to that, he does have that. There's the 18 SC 159451 conviction. He was convicted of battery that was pled down from aggravated battery, and that was against a woman with whom he formerly lived for basically knocking her teeth out. And that open case is pretrial recounted for aggravated assault, obstructing and hindering persons make an emergency phone call, and the simple battery family violence. That involves the strangulation, ag assault strangulation of his mother, 25 SC 003550. So needless to say, this history is incredibly concerning. We know from what's been stated here that this is an ongoing issue in the household. We have additional concerns for her safety with the statements regarding and the evidence found relating to the use of weapons here, or the knife specifically. And this is by definition a felony. So the state has sought a felony transfer. We've made that request. We have not heard back from the DA's office as of yet. We will keep the court updated with that. But with all of this, out of extraordinary concern for her safety and the incredible danger he poses to her, we are recommending a $5,000 total cash bond, $2,500 on each battery family violence charge. We'd recommend, if he bonds out, FIB, as well as no further contact with Khadijah McDowell. Stay away from 23 Larkin Place in Atlanta, that apartment complex, as well as no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. I don't believe we've spoken with Miss McDowell as of yet. If we could sound for her at this time, Judge.
Ms. McDowell is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Does not appear so. Mr. King?
Thank you, Judge. My client is 31 years old, Your Honor. He definitely is he does have a pending case. Obviously, his record is not a positive one in the recent past. We don't object to the FVIP. We would just ask that this court give a reasonable bond. I don't think he has any FTAs, and I know that he went to court last month for his open case. So that indicates to me that he is most certainly willing to come back to court to face these charges, since he was actually just in court last month. So we would ask the court set a reasonable bond. I would just ask the court set that, cut that in half, and I would ask for a $2,500 bond. Oh, you know what, Judge? I did want to say this. I read the warrant. It was given to me, and I wanted to make sure the court knew that he was the one that called the police. And there were marks on, according to the warrant, there were marks that kind of supported his side of the story that were on him as well. So this seems like a mutual combat, or she was the aggressor as a possibility. I wasn't there, Judge, so I can't make these claims specifically, but I can tell you that there are stories on both sides that differ, and the police just decided to take one story and not the other. And I think that should be taken into consideration for the bond purposes.
Okay, for each charge will be a $3,000 good bond, makes for a total of a $6,000 good bond. I wanted to begin the Family Violence Intervention Program. No further contact with Ms. McDowell. Stay away from her residence. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Stiles. Anything further,
Thank you, Your
Mr.
Honor.
King? And Mr.
Nothing
King,
further.
Mr. Stiles has his hand up, so if you can touch base with him at some point after this hearing, the court would appreciate it.
I sure will, Judge. May I
Okay,
be
your turn.
excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Judge.
Commissioner number 7, Mr. Floyd.
Good afternoon, Mr. Floyd. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003171D with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Their last arrest was October 23rd, 2025, out of Clayton for a probation violation. They have 10 cycles. There was a felony conviction in 2014 for aggravated assault where they received first offender treatment, but it was revoked in 2019. Nothing further to report.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker.
Yes, Judge, we're asking for a $2,500 good bond with conditions no further contact with Kara Johnson and to stay away from 2576 MLK Junior Drive in Atlanta. These facts allege that the defendant came to her residence and was kicking on the door, but eventually stopped. So she went outside because the lights on her car were left on and she didn't hear him kicking anymore. She thought she was okay, but the defendant was there, confronted her in the parking lot, and slapped her in the face so hard she said she couldn't hear out of her left ear immediately after the slap. You did hear the history. They did not mention because it was null prost, but they did have a prior case together, 25 SC 005441 for aggravated assault. That was null prost, but it was for aggravated assault strangulation. So we did speak with Miss Johnson. She confirmed the events in the warrant. Says they were together for about a year and a half, but they've been broken up for 3 months now. She says she's been verbally and physically abused by this man. She says he's choked her out before, and that shortly after this incident, because it did occur in April of this year, there was another incident at the store where he tried to take her phone. So she did tell the officer to kind of put this incident in that report as well. So yeah, just based on everything that we've heard from her, as well as the history, we're asking for that $2,500 good bond with conditions no further contact and to stay away from the MLK Junior Drive address. And if we could sound for Miss Johnson.
Ms. Kara Johnson's on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity.
And Judge,
Yes.
I am Correll McCrimmons. I am here on behalf of Mr. Floyd. I would like to be heard when the court is ready.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. McCrimmons.
Good afternoon, Judge. I did just want to address a couple of things. I did represent Mr. Floyd in that previous matter. That matter was null pros because we were able to establish that the defendant, complaining witness was in fact lying. We heard through phone calls that were made at the jail where she admitted that she had made up the allegations initially placed against him, and that is the reason that that case was null pros. There was no, trickery. Nobody showed up on a court date or anything of that nature. We presented that evidence directly to the state, and that was the basis for the null pros. As far as this situation, Judge, I don't know, exactly what was going on. What I can tell you is that Mr. Floyd was recently hit by a car and was at Grady receiving treatment. Upon being discharged from Grady is when he actually was arrested and brought over to Fulton, Judge. So I think, as you can see, I believe he is carrying a crutch at this point. And my understanding was that he was due for a surgical procedure today, but was unable to make it as a result of being placed in custody, Judge. Given the history of this complaining witness, I would say that we have no problem with the stay away, no contact, don't go to that particular home, that area. But I would want to say, Judge, my understanding, they do not share kids together. My understanding is that they've never lived together and they don't live together now. I do not believe this case even is even classified properly as a domestic or a family violence case per the statute. But Judge, we would ask for a signature bond given the history, Judge. But if your honor is not inclined to do so, we would ask for the lowest possible bond your honor could provide, maybe a $1,000 surety bond.
Okay, thank you. It'll be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Ms. Johnson. Stay away from the MLK Jr. drive address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Floyd. Anything further this afternoon, Mr. McCrimmons?
No, Judge, thank you. That does conclude my business. May I be excused?
Have a good afternoon, yes.
You too. Thank you.
All right, number 5, Mr. Dickerson.
And courtroom 2, do we have Mr. Hall there?
Hey, yeah, HTDC, I want to say.
Yes,
Say it again?
she's here at ACDC, Judge.
Okay, let's take Hall next. We have Attorney Fisher here, but this is, tell me again who we have.
Number 5, Mr. Dickerson.
Number 5, okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Dickerson. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003168C with battery, family violence, and battery. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Last arrest was August 21st, 2025 out of Gwinnett for FTA. 14 total cycles, arrests out of Georgia and Louisiana. There was a 2025 misdemeanor conviction for theft by shoplifting, also in 2025 battery. There's a 2025 felony obstruction out of Gwinnett, FTA from 2025, nothing further.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Tucker.
Yes, Judge, we're asking for a $2,000 good bond on the battery family violence and a $500 good bond on the battery for a total of $2,500. Good with conditions no further contact with Brenda Clopton and to stay away from 440 Woodlawn Avenue in Atlanta. These facts allege that the defendant and the victim were roommates in a rooming house. The defendant asked the victim for a pack of cigarettes and she refused. So he got on top of her, punched her over and over in the face and chest, leaving large lacerations to her face, large swelling on her collarbone, and swelling to her face, and she was bleeding profusely from the head. So very severe injuries here over a pack of cigarettes. We were not able to get in touch with her, but considering the severity of the facts alleged, as well as that history, so much recent history just from 2025. We are asking for that $2,500 total good bond, no further contact with Ms. Clopton, and to stay away from 440 Woodlawn Ave.
If Ms. Clopton is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Ms. Rosenhuber?
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Dickerson is 37 years old. He has resided in Georgia for the past 5 years and has one 5-year-old son that he financially supports when he's able. Additionally, his child's mother does live in Georgia as well. With respect to where he's going to be living, he advised that he can potentially stay with friends and he knows to update his address with the clerk's office. He's a high school graduate. And Judge, he's advised he's not going to be able to post any sort of surety bond. I'll also let the court know that I do have a few MH concerns, though that wasn't specifically discussed, and I'll be requesting a social work visit for this case.
Thank you. It's $1,000 good bond for the battery, a $500 good bond makes for a total of a $1,500 good bond, social worker visit to assess for BHET and possible housing, no further contact with the alleged victim, stay away from the Woodlawn Avenue address, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Dickerson. Okay, and tell me who we have at ACDC.
Position number 12, Ms. Hall.
Okay, good afternoon. Ms. Hall, you have been charged in case 26CR003183C with simple battery. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Their last arrest was February 11th, 2020, out of Atlanta for a DUI. That's their only arrest cycle, nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker.
Yes, Judge. I have 2 prior DUIs. I have another arrest in 2020 for DUI. But in this case, we're asking for a $1,500 good bond with conditions no further contact with Pamela Normill and to stay away from the North Fulton Hospital unless seeking emergency medical treatment. We're also asking for a social worker visit to assess for potential MH issues. The facts allege this defendant was being treated at this hospital when she became belligerent with the nurse, who's the victim, began swinging at her and kicking her, and she kicked her in the face, leaving a visible shoe print on her glasses. We were not able to get in touch with Miss Normal, but considering the facts, we're asking for that $1,500 good bond, no further contact, to stay away from the hospital unless receiving medical treatment and a social worker visit.
Thank you. Mr. Fisher?
Thanks, Judge. Ms. Hall is 29 years old. She's from Georgia. She grew up in Georgia. She is currently staying at 211 Harwell Road, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30331. She lives with Morgan Hill, and she has she's actively employed. She's self. Hello.
No, go ahead. I'm not sure where the interruption came from.
She is gainfully employed. She has her own pet setting service, and Your Honor, we're looking for an unsecured judicial release. I'm not familiar with some of the facts that Madam Prosecutor stated, so I'm that kind of threw me off on what those allegations were.
Okay, will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from that hospital unless seeking medical attention. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Hall.
Judge, is there a way to get a copy of that warrant from someone in the clerk's office?
I'm sure that there is. If you want to contact the clerk's office after court, I'm sure they'll provide it to you.
Unless you
I'll,
could.
I'll email it to
Okay,
him.
thank you, Judge.
Oh, okay.
I'll email it. Just Attorney Fisher, just chat Chanel Young. It says host.
All right, next we got number 19, Mr. Hudson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hudson. You have been charged in case 26CR003177G with battery. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Last arrest was September 29th, 2025 out of the cab for simple battery. There are 12 total cycles. There was a felony conviction in 2013 for burglary where they got first offender and it was discharged in 2017. There's a 2025 simple battery. Also in 2025 criminal trespass and simple assault. Nothing further to report.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker.
Yes, Judge, we're asking for a $2,500 good bond with no further contact with Juan David Barber and to stay away from Marta. The facts in this case allege that Marta video footage actually showed the defendant striking this victim multiple times with closed fists, leaving bruising and bleeding from his nose. As well as you heard, he's got at least 3 misdemeanor convictions from 2025 for simple battery, criminal trespass, simple assault. So we believe the risk of reoffense is high here, as well as this incident on Marta. So we're asking for that $2,500 total good bond, no further contact, and stay away.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Hudson is 34 years old and he came to Georgia about 5 years ago from Tennessee. Your Honor, he does have a 13 years old son that he pays child support every month continuously. After graduating from high school successfully, he went in and got a CDL to be a truck driver. At this point, he's working for a different temp service to make a living, and he sends out the money while he is residentially challenged, Your Honor. He has been homeless for about 1 year, and he does not get any other government subsidy right now. We asked for signature on bond through a free trial. If Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we asked for $50 cash bond. He has a no objection to go to Marta Lindbergh Station, and unless he gets a signature on bond, it's kind of like no bond to him at this point.
Okay, it will be $1,000 good bond. I want him to have a social worker visit to assess for an MHET and housing if necessary. No further contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from Marta. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Hudson.
Your Honor, can it be 10% shares program? I don't think that he has house to be used for collateral.
That's fine with the court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Position number 28, Miss Reed.
Good afternoon, Ms. Reed. You have been charged in case 26CR003190B with 2 counts of battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was December the 5th, 2013, out of Gwinnett for forgery and obstruction. They have 8 cycles with arrests out of Georgia and Florida. There was a 2020 misdemeanor conviction for obstruction out of Gwinnett. Nothing further.
Thank you, Mr. Sirocco.
Thank you, Your Honor. This was a May 16th incident, 1197 West Peachtree Street in Atlanta. Officers made contact with the defendant as well as the victim here, Mr. Kevin Johnson. The victim here, Mr. Johnson, had visible bruising on both of his cheeks, his nose, and his lip. Officers spoke with other witnesses on scene. They wished to remain anonymous. They reported hearing the victim pull up in traffic, stop his truck, and tell the defendant to get out of the vehicle. Defendant exited the truck, returned to sit in the vehicle. Was heard yelling at her to get out. Defendant then jumped back in the car, pulled his keys out of the ignition, and threw them out the window. And there was a physical altercation that ensued. The two had been at a bar where they were drinking before leaving to go home. He explained that he was upset that the defendant, after seeing messages from another male on her phone, and excuse me, admitted to doing what he did. Where is this? Oh, the two lived together. Excuse me.
Mrs. Rocco, just a moment. You're
Yeah.
confusing me a bit because this is Danielle Reed.
Yes. This is Mr. Kevin Johnson is the victim. Is that what you have on there, Judge?
I'm not sure, but you keep referring to the defendant as he, which is confusing me a bit.
Sorry, I don't mean to, Judge. It's a lot of cases today. Very few attorneys.
I understand. I'm just trying to
Yeah,
put it
I
all together
understand.
myself, okay?
The state's recommendation here, following our conversation with the victim, Mr. Kevin Johnson is the victim. They've been together about 8 months, lived together for 6. They're no longer together. They don't share children. They were out drinking, and he had seen a correspondence between the defendant and a different woman. Had questions about it, and she was previously in a relationship with his friend, the victim's friend, but that ended. There were some questions, and it was the defendant who became upset, grabbed her phone, left the bar, and he had pulled into a gas station. He didn't know where she went, and didn't want to leave the defendant, so he had parked at that gas station nearby. She had called, screaming and claiming that he left her. He explains he didn't leave her, and this incident is what took place shortly after, if that provides any clarity here, Judge. And he has left their home. He's no longer residing there. He didn't provide an opinion on bond here. Did state he doesn't need contact with the defendant. I don't believe he's on Zoom with us today, but if we could sound for him when appropriate. We are recommending a signature bond for pretrial. We are recommending 2 days anger awareness, no further contact with Kevin Johnson. Stay away from his now residence 6392 Stablewood Way in Lithonia. There was a firearm recovered on the defendant's person. We would recommend surrender any and all firearms to the sheriff's office. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond, and that should be it, Judge.
Thank you. If Mr. Johnson's on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Ms. Rosenhuber?
Yes, Your Honor, we don't have any objection to the signature bond through pretrial.
All right. As such, it will, for each charge will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Mr. Johnson. Stay away from his residence. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Reed.
And this got number 1, Mr. Allen.
Good afternoon, Mr. Allen. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003157D with theft by shoplifting. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Last arrest was March the 6th, 2025, out of Atlanta for criminal trespass. They have 5 total cycles. There was a felony conviction in 2026 for theft by taking. In 2025, there was a theft by shoplifting and criminal trespass misdemeanor where they got first offender, and it was discharged in 2026. And it appears that they're on probation for theft by taking. Nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge. You heard almost all of those were in 2025 or 26, and they're almost all theft-related offenses. So I believe the risk of reoffense while out on bond is high. We are asking for a $1,000 good bond with the condition to stay away from the Family Dollar at 2925 Headland Drive in East Point. In this particular incident, he put 6 Dawn dish soaps and 10 Gain scent boosters for the laundry in a black trash bag. Everything totaled $143.52, and he tried to leave without paying. So we're asking for that $1,000 good bond with the stay away from the Family Dollar.
Thank you. Ms. Rosenhuber?
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Allen is 18 years old. He is a lifelong Georgia resident. His mother and his siblings also live here in Georgia. He actually lives with his mother and her boyfriend. He made it to the 12th grade and is currently working towards his GED. He also works at a barber shop where he's been working for the past month. Judge, understanding that he has a good bit of recent criminal history, we wouldn't object to a $1,000 good bond.
Okay. $1,000 good bond, stay away from the Family Dollar on Headland Drive, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Allen.
How much was that again?
1,000 good.
Next, we have position number 22, Ms. Johnson.
Good afternoon, Ms. Johnson. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003158E with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
No, Your Honor, this is shown as a first arrest.
Thank you. Mr. Sirocco?
Yes, Judge. This was a May 15th incident, 2026, 5890 Bering Way in South Fulton. The officers here responded to a domestic dispute there, and they made contact with the 911 caller, juvenile JJ, born in 2013 here. The defendant, he explained his mother had pushed him during a verbal dispute here. And his mother sort of gets like this. He explained when she has a few alcoholic beverages. And he and his brother were in the room playing basketball with another child when, excuse me, the defendant stated he can be in the room with them when JJ was advised he could come in. So this ultimately led to a verbal dispute, which led to physical contact that I went into here. And the defendant was ultimately arrested. There was a sister, KJ, juvenile KJ, had to step in and calm the situation down. And she was there and witnessed the incident as well. The state's recommendation here, we haven't been able to reach the victims in this case. We're not sure if there's defects involvement, but we're not sure if there's another another caretaker here for the children. So the state is recommending, against my better judgment, no further violent contact, signature bond with through pretrial services, no further violent contact with JJ or any juvenile in that household. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond, and a parenting class might be appropriate here, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Rosenhuber?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Johnson is 36 years old. She's lived here since she was 18. She does have 5 children in total. Ages range from 4 years old to 14 years old. It's my understanding that there is not another legal guardian that can take custody of those children. And in fact, the children's father is currently out on bond for a case involving her as well as the children. So it's my understanding that she is their sole and primary caretaker. She's a high school graduate. She has held the same job since October 2025, working as a server. She did admit that she does have an issue with alcohol, and she's more than willing to get any treatment that the court would order. And Judge, given that this is her first arrest, we would also ask for that signature bond through pretrial services for the no further violent contact and to not issue a stay away from the home. Thank you.
Will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, 5 parenting classes, and alcohol drug evaluation and any treatment that's necessary. No further violent contact with any of the children. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. And also, if defects is involved, to abide by any defects orders. Good luck to you, Ms. Johnson.
And this is number 13, Mr. Harris.
Good afternoon, Mr. Harris. You have been charged in case 26 CR 3164F with simple battery. Is there a history, Ms. Harding?
Yes, Your Honor, their last arrest was September the 3rd, 2024, out of Paulding County, for a probation violation. They have 66 cycles with arrests out of Georgia and Tennessee. There's a felony conviction in 2023 for robbery, 2023 simple battery, simple assault, terroristic threats, another simple battery from 2023, FTA from 2023, 2024 obstruction. There appears to be a hold out of Covington for terroristic threats and acts, and also an open case in state court for simple battery against law enforcement. Nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker.
Yes, Judge, a very concerning history despite there not being any visible injuries in this case. So we are asking for a $2,500 total good bond with conditions no further contact with Brett Baffa, and also a social worker visit to check for any MH issues. The incident involves an AMR ambulance employee. The victim was transporting the defendant to the hospital when he took his seatbelts off, threatened to beat up the victim, and grabbed him by his wrist. Officers observed a grease transfer on the victim's glove consistent with the contact described. But just you heard the history, very, very concerning. So we're asking for that $2,500 good bond, no further contact with Mr. Baffa, and a social worker visit.
Thank you, Ms. Rosenhuber.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Harris is 37 years old. He is a lifelong Georgia resident. His sister, brother, and mother all reside here in Georgia. If released, he will be living with his mother in Covington, Georgia. He's a high school graduate and has been unemployed now for several years. I do suspect some possible MH after speaking with him as well as reviewing the warrants. Though currently, Judge, the bond, I believe, is set at $1,200, or at least it was when there was another charge involved, and he does have that holdout of Newton County. So, Judge, I would request a signature bond in this case, and of course refer him to a social worker and see what else needs to be done.
Okay. It will be a $2,000 good bond, social worker visit to assess for BHET, no further contact with the alleged victim, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Harris.
Position number 1 and 2 on the add-on calendar.
Good afternoon, Ms. Shelton. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003196A with theft by shoplifting, and in case 26 CR 003197A with theft by shoplifting and giving false information to law enforcement. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
There's last arrest was July 15th, 2025, out of Union City for FTA, possession of cocaine, theft by shoplifting, and criminal trespass. There's 16 cycles. There was a 2024 reckless conduct misdemeanor conviction, and there are five open cases, and they're either theft by shoplifting or criminal trespass. Nothing further to report.
That are open in state court?
No, it's superior. Well, okay, so there's 2 open in state court. I'm sorry, 3 open in state court for criminal trespass and theft by shoplifting, and there's 2 in superior court.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Mr. Sirocco.
Yes, Judge. So in sum, with respect to prior theft by shoplifting convictions, we did find it was at least 4. 25 CR 001039H, 23 CR 004734A, 33A, and 32A. We have requested a felony transfer on this, with this being a recidivist offense, both of these being recidivist offenses. So we have requested felony transfers on both. Still have not heard back from the DAs, but they have been from what I can tell, accepting Miss Shelton's cases. There is that 25 CR 0054002H is a dormant bench warrant case. But if that is what I believe, yeah, there's a theft by shoplifting charge associated with that. So that's likely going to be another felony transfer request. And there was a recent one that was separate from that was transferred to Superior, but I don't see a case number for it in Superior Court. With the first incident, May 11th, it was the shoplifting of mostly food items. There were some other items, but mostly food items totaling $105 from the Walgreens at 4617 Jonesboro. The second incident here, just 5 days later, was at the 3660 Marketplace Boulevard Target in East Point. And that involved the theft of roughly, what was it? Almost $340 in miscellaneous items, food. There was some personal hygiene items as well. She also provided the false name and date of birth of Tresay Shelton, June 26, 1977. The state's recommendation, with her substantial history of theft convictions here for the same offenses, is going to be a $2,500 surety for each theft by shoplifting charge between the cases, and 1,000 on the giving false information. That would be 2,500 on the theft by shoplifting case in charge in isolation, and on the other 3,500 with the giving false information. We'd recommend a social worker visit. $6,000 total surety, as I stated. Stay away from the Walgreens. Stay away from the Target. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. I believe that's all for the state on this, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Rosenhuber?
Thank you, Judge. Miss Shelton is 47 years old. She has lived here in Georgia for the past 4 years. She has one 18-year-old daughter and one 1-year-old granddaughter. She resides with her mother, who's 77 years old, and I believe that is at the address on file. She is a high school graduate and is currently receiving disability benefits both for mental and physical health through SSI. Judge, understanding that she's not eligible for a signature bond given that number of open cases, we would just ask that any surety bond not exceed $1,500 total. Thank you.
Okay, position number one, the theft by shoplifting will be $1,000 good bond. Stay away from the Walgreens in Jonesboro. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Position number two, for the theft, $1,000 good bond. For the false information, a $500 good bond, makes for a total of a $1,500 good bond. Stay away from the Target at Marketplace in East Point. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Shelton. Who do we have next?
Now we can do number 2, Mr. Burden. Mm-hmm. Where you at? Burden. Mr. Who? Burden.
Good afternoon, Mr. Burden. You've been charged in case 26 CR 003186Y with battery and public drunk. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Their last arrest was September 28, 2023, out of Fulton for a probation violation. They have 16 cycles with arrests out of Georgia and South Carolina. There was a 1998 felony conviction in Fulton for aggravated assault. Out of South Carolina, there was a criminal domestic violence misdemeanor in 1995. Nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker.
Yes, Judge. I also have a 2023 arrest for DUI, which I think is relevant here because he's charged with public drunk. And we're asking for a $2,000 good bond on the battery, a $1,000 good on the public drunk, for a total of $3,000, with conditions no further contact with Natasha Graham, as well as have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons on bond, but we want random screens for alcohol and drugs while he's out on bond. The facts allege that this defendant was passed out drunk on his back when officers arrived. The victim was frightened and didn't want to speak with the officers at first, but eventually told them they had both been drinking. The last thing she remembers is him punching her in the face, leaving a swollen eye, bruising, and the back of her head was actively bleeding. We were not able to speak with Miss Graham, but considering the facts in the warrant, as well as his history, we're asking for that $2,000 good bond on the battery, $1,000 on the public drunk, for a $3,000 total, no further contact, and random screens for drugs and alcohol while on probation. Or excuse me, not on probation, while out on bond.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker. Ms. Rosenhuben?
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Burden is 67 years old. He's a lifelong Georgia resident and has 5 children, all of which are grown. His sister also lives here in Georgia. The address on file is still a good address for him. He's a high school graduate, and while he has been unemployed for a little over a year, he is actively seeking work and most recently worked at the Food Depot for about 9 months. He also served in the Army from 1980 to 1983 and told me he's working to get more involved with the VA for possible job help. Your Honor, at this point, he advised me that he would not be able to afford a surety bond in the amount of $3,000. I believe that's what it's currently set at. We are requesting a signature bond through pretrial services and no objection to any screens or evaluations. Thank you.
Okay. Pretrial level 2 for the public drunk, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2 makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. Alcohol drug evaluation and any treatment that's necessary. Random drug and alcohol screens. No further contact with the alleged victim, Ms. Graham. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Burden.
All right, next we got position number 18, Mr. Hope.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hope. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003176L with failure to obey signs or control devices, failure to have your license on your person, driving while your license was suspended or revoked, willful obstruction of law enforcement, and a seatbelt violation. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Yes, the last arrest was July 2nd, 2025 out of Fulton for an FTA. There's 13 total arrest cycles. Appears to be a hold out of Douglasville for a probation violation. The date of that warrant is October 1st, 2025. There's one out of Jonesboro, and the date of that one is October 14th, 2025. There's a 2021 simple battery obstruction, possession of marijuana, 2016 felony conviction for possession of tools, possession of dangerous weapon, and theft by receiving. They got first offender on that. It was discharged in 2016. It appears that they're on probation for battery, an FTA from 2025. Nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge. You did hear that recent FTA as well as the rest of the history. We're asking for a $500 good bond on each charge. 5 total. That's totaling $2,500 good. As well as conditions: no driving without a valid license, valid insurance, and valid registration. These facts allege that on May 16th, they saw him making an illegal right turn on red at the intersection of Chapel Road and MLK Jr. Drive, where the sign clearly prohibits turning on red. He was also seen not wearing a seatbelt. So when they pulled him over, they found he was driving on a suspended license, had active warrants from multiple jurisdictions. When they tried to place him under arrest, he became non-compliant, stiffened his body, refused commands to exit the vehicle. Eventually, he had to be tased to be taken into custody. So for those reasons, we're asking for 500 good on each for a total of 2,500 with those no driving conditions.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah, Ms. Kim.
I did have a seatbelt on,
Okay, all right. Okay, Your Honor,
and they can check the.
yes, Your Honor, Mr. Hope is 36 years old, and Your Honor, he was born in Florida. He came to Georgia about 25 years ago, and he has a long way to go, probation violation here at Fulton County. And then he has to be transferred to Clayton and Douglasville. So I think the main reason that he was arrested was because of these holds in other counties. So we would like to request for a signature on bond through jail so he can go ahead and move on to next cases. If Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we ask for the minimum surety bond, $5 for each count. Your Honor, he claims that he was wearing seatbelts. He denies the allegation. So mainly, he's trying to take care of other issues, probation violation and other stuff. He has one son that he is currently residing with, and also he has child support that he has to pay for the son that he does not live with. After graduating from after obtaining GED successfully, he went to Savannah Tech College for behavioral health science. And right now he's working for a landscaping company. Your Honor, we ask for the lowest possible bond. Thank you.
Traffic signs, $100 cash bond. Failure to have a license on person, $50 cash bond. Driving while license suspended, $100 cash bond. Obstruction, $100 cash bond. Seatbelt violation, $50 cash bond. Makes for a total of $400 cash bond. No driving without a valid license, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Right.
Good luck to you, Mr. Hope.
License suspended and expired.
Your Honor, can it be also going through a 10% program? I'm not sure about the cash bond, but can they do that?
Well, that's fine with the court, Ms.
Thank you.
Kane.
Number 20, Mr. Ingram.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ingram. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003184F with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
They have two arrest cycles, arrests out of Georgia and Minnesota. Their last arrest was May the 24th, 2023 out of Minneapolis for possession of controlled substance. Nothing further to report.
Thank you. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, we're asking for a $2,500 good bond on the battery family violence with conditions no further contact with Daisha Gresham and to stay away from 2906 Forest Side Lane in Atlanta. These facts allege that the victim was talking with her friends and the defendant was trying to argue with her. When she left to go down to the laundry room, he followed her, and while her back was turned, he grabbed her by the hair and attempted to grab her phone out of her hand. She then went out back to the backyard to continue talking with her friends, and the defendant again followed her, punched her in the face, leaving a scratch on her nose, swelling of her lip, and blood inside of her mouth. We were unable to get in contact with Miss Gresham. If we could just sound for her just in case. But based on the facts alleged, we're asking for that $2,500 good bond, no further contact, and a stay away from this location.
Ms. Gresham is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Ingram is only 24 years young. He came from New York about 10 years ago. He has one son that he's paying for child support. Your Honor, complaining witness and my clients, they do not live together and they don't have any child together. So my client has no objection to no contact. Only thing that he is very concerned about is the location of the incident is actually my client's house where he resides with a roommate, and complaint witness does not reside there. And Your Honor, his son is actually graduating tomorrow, so he really want to get out today. And if you see his arms, you can totally see she was the one who threw the glasses at him. She pinched, and he has a bite mark on his arm. I can totally see that he was harmed more than whatever he was saying. My client has an associate degree from Georgia State University for science, and he's also working at Amazon, gainfully employed. We would like to request for signature on bond and no contact, but return back to his own place. Thank you.
Will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Ms. Gresham. Stay away from her residential address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Ingram.
Thank you. 31, Mr. Seaborn.
And you can.
Good afternoon, Mr. Seaborn. You've been charged in case 26 CR 003154G with criminal trespass and possession and use of drug-related objects. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Yes, their last arrest was April 7th, 2026 out of Fulton for possession and use of drug-related objects. There are 69 total cycles out of Georgia, 4 felony convictions outside the last 10 years. There's a felony conviction in 2017 and 2019 for possession of cocaine. In 2019, there's also a felony conviction for aggravated assault. 2022, 2019, 2018 criminal trespass misdemeanor convictions. There appear to be 2 open probation cases for criminal trespass and an FTA from 2025. Nothing further.
Thank you. Mr. Sirocco?
Yes, Your Honor. So this was the May 16th criminal trespass and also possession use of drug-related objects. You may recognize this defendant. The trespass here was at 245 Memorial Drive, which is the BP gas station there in Atlanta. And the defendant was observed standing in front of the door of the gas station. There were a number of warnings and arrests concerning the defendant at this location. Given multiple warnings previously, he was placed into custody, and the search incident to arrest revealed a crack pipe was found in his pocket. As far as his history goes, multiple recent convictions for criminal trespass, all at the same location, Your Honor. 24 CR 001085F. That was January 2025. He was convicted there. The 25 CR 003467G is a criminal trespass convicted on July of 2025, and stay away from the same location as here. And then most recently, and so those were in violations of the bond set in there in that first one, the second one. But most recently is the 26 CR 001592G criminal trespass conviction. That, Your Honor, actually sentenced him in that case and to 12 months or 60 days with BHET and community service, as well as a stay away from this exact location, 245 Memorial Drive. Whatever he needs, Judge, he's not getting. He continues to violate bond, probation, all of it. And with his history here, in addition to the 2025 FTA and other.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sirocco. Did we lose courtroom 2?
Oh, no.
I don't see them. Oh. Okay, I think we lost you all. Yes?
Yes, we were disconnected.
Okay. Did
Okay,
I was pretty close. The state's recommendation with his history here, Judge, is $2,000 surety, the risk of reoffense, the recommending social worker visit for housing, and BH. He certainly needs that, as well as stay away from 245 Memorial Drive, that gas station, the BP, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. I believe that should be it for the states, and I'm not sure if I heard it from pretrial, but I have at least an open possession, a felony drug possession case, 23 SC 191267.
thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Seaborn is 61 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia. He has been struggling with residential challenges for the last 4 years. And I do agree with the social worker visit for housing and BHET. No matter what kind of bond he gets, as long as it is not signature on bond, he's not going to be able to pay for any bond. So we ask for the lowest possible bond, $10 cash. Thank you.
For each charge will be a $500 good bond, makes for a total of $1,000 good bond. A social worker visit to assess for BHET, any housing issues. Possibly, Ms. Kim, I'm not sure if he needs to go on the comp calendar or not, but let's see if we can get an assessment so that we can get him on the right track to see what's going on with him. He is, of course, to stay away from this BP gas station that he apparently keeps going back to. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Thank you,
Good
Your Honor.
luck.
This is 32, Mr. Smith. Oh, you going?
Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. You have been Good afternoon, sir. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003161E with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Yes, Your Honor. Their last arrest was February 3rd, 2026 out of Fulton for criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, obstruction. It appears that they're on probation for that. They have 74 cycles with arrests out of Georgia, Ohio, Florida, and Pennsylvania. They don't have any felony or any convictions within the last 10 years. It appears that they're on probation for aggravated battery. Criminal trespass, 25 SC 003358. Nothing further.
Thank you. Mr. Sirocco?
Yes, Your Honor. This was the May 16th criminal trespass of Chevron gas station, 371 Boulevard in Atlanta. The employee had flagged down the officer here, and the officer observed familiar male, identified as the defendant, sitting at the gas pumps here at the business. The officer had stopped the defendant here. He was trying to walk away from the location, and detained him. He had been criminally trespassed January 29th, 2026. Gave a false name. That was a false name given to police there. Oh, in addition to this, Judge, the defendant was properly identified. He is in violation of his 26 SC 000681 conviction. And that was disorderly conduct, obstruction, and criminal trespass, convicted in March of this year. Pled down from felony obstruction, actually. And he was to stay away from the same Chevron at issue here, Your Honor, 371 Boulevard. So with his violation of that, recent convictions, and overall extensive criminal history, we are recommending a $2,000 surety, social worker visit for BH and housing. Stay away from that Chevron at 371 Boulevard, as well as no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Smith is 53 years old, and I believe that his case has to be rescheduled to a competence calendar as well, Your Honor. He says that he graduated from high school. After that, he became a barber to have a haircut. And only thing that he can remember was that he was very hungry, Your Honor. I believe that he is resident to challenge for the last 3 years, and his memories, I believe he did social worker visit. We asked for the lowest possible bond, Your Honor. If Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, there's already $1,100 surety bond, so maybe we can have that be made that. Thank you, Your Honor.
Bridgewater, are you with me?
Yes, sir, I'm with you.
Can we put him on the June 4th comp calendar? I believe that's a Thursday.
I will.
Okay, thank you. As such, it will be $1,000 good bond, a social worker visit to assess for an MHET, stay away from that Chevron gas station, placed on the competency calendar for June 4th. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
35, Mr. Thomas.
Good afternoon, Mr. Thomas. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003172H with willful obstruction of law enforcement and certain acts on a bus, rail station that are prohibited. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Their last arrest was January 14th, 2026, out of Clayton County for criminal trespass. They have 4 cycles. Nothing further to report.
Thank you, Mr. Soroka.
Yes, Your Honor. And I do see that out of Clayton County, criminal damage to property in the second and criminal trespass from January. I did see, I believe, 2 prior arrests as well. The other one being at least most notable being the 2025 theft by shoplifting. But that I believe is open out of Morrow, Georgia. If that is the county, I forget. But this was the defendant was observed drinking. This was on the MARTA East Point bus loop, 2848 Main Street in East Point. The officer could smell the odor of an alcoholic beverage on his person when he approached. He was unsteady on his feet. And the officer had approached him, telling him he was stopped, detained, and asking for his identification. And it was at that point when another officer arrived behind the initial officer that the defendant fled down towards Irene Kidd Parkway. And then a subsequent arrest was made for this case. The state's recommendation is going to be on account of his history. Just a $1,000 total signature bond through pretrial services. We would be fine with this being a split bond, a signature bond through the jail on the certain acts, bus, rail station prohibited for the drinking on the MARTA bus intermodal station, and 1,000 surety on the obstruction. Stay away from MARTA in accordance with any existing bans or suspensions. I'm not sure if there are any, but if there are, we would ask that he adhere to those, as well as no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. Defense could probably advise whether he needs a social worker visit or not.
Thank you, Ms. Kim.
No objection, Your Honor. Signature on bond, yes.
Does he need a social worker, Ms. Kim?
No, he does have his parents here, and no, I don't think so.
Okay, for each charge will be a $500 signature bond through pretrial level 1, makes for a total of $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Adhere to any MARTA restrictions, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you, Your Honor.
36, Mr. Turner.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Turner. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003179A with theft by taking and willful obstruction of law enforcement. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was March the 26th, 2026 out of Fulton for an FTA. There are 9 cycles in Georgia. There's a 2026 possession of drug-related objects and obstruction, 2019 battery and disorderly conduct. They got first offender in 2016 on an affray. It was discharged in 2017, and there's an FTA from 2026. Nothing further.
Thank you. Mr. Sirocco?
Yes, Judge. This was the incident took place May 17th of this year, 506 Moreland Ave in Atlanta. It's the Starbucks there. While the victim here, Mr. Adegboyega Adu, he was at the Starbucks, left his iPad mini on the table, and went to refill a cup of coffee. He saw the defendant take his iPad and leave the location. He was able to track that iPad and give an exact location of the defendant here, who was taken into custody. And there was he was resisting officers, the officer here moving back and forth, interlocking his hands, trying to resist being handcuffed here, but he was ultimately successfully detained. With his FTAs, Judge, I did see a 2024 conviction for loiter prowl out of Fulton too, 23 CR 005587E. Multiple arrests for theft by shoplifting, 2023 and 2024. We are recommending a $2,000 total surety, $1,500 on the theft by taking, and $500 on the obstruction. No further contact with Adegboyega Adu. Stay away from 506 Moreland Ave. Again, that's Starbucks in Atlanta. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And I'm not sure if he needs a social worker visit, but I would ask the defense advise. And we did speak a little bit with Miss Adu, but not in any substantive sense. So if we could sound for him at this time, Judge.
If that individual is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Turner is 33 years old. He has been residentially challenged for the last 7 years, Your Honor. I do agree with a social worker visit for his housing and also hopefully drug rehabilitation. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, for each charge will be a $50 cash bond, makes for a total of $100 cash bond, social worker visit to assist with housing, no further contact with the alleged victim, stay away from the Starbucks on Moreland Avenue, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Turner.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, let's get number 8, Mr. Foster. Yes, sir.
And Judge, just so the court's aware, with respect to Mr. Foster, we have reached a consent bond agreement for this case.
Good afternoon, Mr. Foster. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003174B with possession of marijuana less than an ounce and willful obstruction of law enforcement. Ms. Tucker, could you put the consent on the record for me?
Yes, Judge. We're consenting to a $500 signature bond through the jail on count 1, the possession of marijuana, and on count 2, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 with a stay away from 878 Norwood Road in Atlanta.
Is that your understanding, Ms. Rosenhoover?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Very good. Good luck to you, Mr. Foster.
And who should I send a copy of that consent bond order to?
Ms. Bridgewater's with us today.
Ms. Bridgewater,
Oh,
will do.
it- What do we have next?
Number 15, Mr. Hendricks.
This is position 15, Hendricks, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, yes, good afternoon, Mr. Hendricks. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003163Y with Lorden and Prowler. Is there a history?
Yes, Your Honor, the last arrest was April 21st, 2026 out of Fulton for a probation violation. There are 92 arrest cycles with arrests out of Georgia and Florida. There's a misdemeanor conviction in 2026 for criminal trespass. Also in 2017, there's a false info to law enforcement. They have a burglary convictions in 2016, 2020, and 2025. They appear to be on probation, 2 probation cases for burglary. FTA from 2023 and 2025, nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker.
Yes, Judge, you heard that history. And in consideration of that, we're asking for $1,000 good bond with stay away from 855 Piedmont Avenue in Atlanta. These facts allege that the defendant was attempting to gain unauthorized entry into the apartment parking garage at this location. He was looking in parked vehicle windows, seen pulling on the handles, and was there for several hours. He did admit to officers he does not live there and he does not know anyone at that apartment complex. He was not visiting someone. So concerning facts, concerning history, we're asking for $1,000 good bond with a stay away from this location on Piedmont Avenue.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Hendricks is 50 years old and he was born and raised here in Georgia. He does have auntie's phone number. Hopefully he's able to contact his auntie to start his life back together. Your Honor, after 12th grade, he has also worked for food service industry, but because of his medical condition, which is very serious, including cancer, he is actually not able to work, and he gets disability checks, which is not much either. Your Honor, we asked for a signature on bond. The weather was really bad, and he was just avoiding the rain, and he wanted to get, he didn't do anything wrong, Your Honor. We asked for a signature on bond. If Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond because of his previous histories and being residentially challenged, he's trying to work with a PAC program, but he has not been able to complete the application process. We asked for no more than $10 cash bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, will be $1,000 good bond, social worker visit to assess for a BHET in housing, stay away from the incident location, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Hendricks.
And then we got 16, Mr. Hensley next.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hensley. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003185H with battery, family violence, and criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was June the 11th, 2024 out of Clayton for possession of marijuana. They have 2 arrest cycles, nothing further.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge. I didn't get to prepare a consent order ahead of time. We didn't get victim contact till late, but I would be fine with a $2,500 signature bond through level 1 with no further violent contact with Miss Celia Preston. These facts allege the victim was texting the defendant while staying at her mother's residence, told the defendant he needed anger management, and he responded with a picture of her sweater burning. So her and her mother went to the house to get her items, and there he put his hands around her neck. We did speak with Miss Preston. I believe she's on the Zoom. She did confirm the events in the warrant, did confirm, and even he admitted to burning her sweater, but she felt her mom kind of blew it out of proportion. She says this has never happened before, and she would like no further violent contact. So considering that, as well as the lack of violent history, the state's okay with the $2,500 signature bond through pretrial level 1 with no further violent contact.
If Ms. Preston is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Ms. Kim, I take it that you don't have any objection to the state's request?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, for the battery, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the criminal trespass, a $500 signature bond through pretrial level 1, makes for a total of a $2,500 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further violent contact with the alleged victim, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Hensley.
Thank you, Your Honor.
25, 50 next.
Good afternoon, Mr. Menifee. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003160L with simple battery and battery. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was November the 15th, 2022 out of Cobb for possession of Schedule 1 or 2 with intent. There are 21 cycles, felony conviction in 2020, possession of a firearm, 2022, possession of Schedule 1 or 2 with intent, 2021, another possession of Schedule 1 or 2 with intent, 2019 obstruction, 2016 obstruction, FTA from 2016, nothing further.
Thank you, Mr. Siraka.
Yes, Your Honor. I also saw it looks like a federal conviction, possession of firearm by a prohibited person, 2020. And you heard his simple battery conviction along with the felony drug charge of which he was convicted in the same case. The incident here took place May 17th, 2453 Coronet Way in Atlanta. Appears to be a residential complex. There was a person injured call that officers responded to. And they made contact with that caller, Mr. Yespel Ibarguen. He explained that the defendant had, while the victim was celebrating his birthday, had come and confronted them about the noise that was going on, and then proceeded to punch him in the face. He did have bruising that officers observed to the left side of his face. Defendant stated the noise from the party woke him up, prompting him to come downstairs. And he stated the entire interaction took place outside the building. There was a video captured by the victim here, which showed the defendant entering the building and during the conversation striking the victim in the face. We did speak with the victim via the language line. Does speak Spanish. He confirmed the events in the warrant. He has not seen the defendant before. From what he said to us, and this does appear to be different from the warrant, the defendant does not live in the complex. He was told that the defendant is a gangster and he is looking for a TPO. He's asking for a stay away as well as a no further contact order. He does state he is scared for his life. He doesn't know the defendant's intentions and is concerned that he's going to return. The state is recommending a $4,000 total surety bond. We would recommend 2,500 on the battery and 15 on the simple battery. No further contact with Yaspel Ybarguen, Ybarguen. Stay away from that apartment complex, 2453 Coronet Way in Atlanta. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And 2 days anger awareness, Judge. If we could sound for Mr. Ybarguen, I know and I'm not sure if we have an interpreter here today, but we made contact. We weren't able to speak with him until later. Otherwise, we would have gotten one on here, Judge.
That individual is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Menifee is 34 years old and he is Georgia native. Your Honor, that is the location is defendant's place. He and his fiancée live there together with their 3 minor children, 7, 12, and 14 years old. They have been there for a long time. My client, Mr. Yasfeld, was the one that was kind of like visiting for the party and making an obnoxious noise and nuisance against all the neighbors. And he has no objection to stay, no contact, but he wants to be able to return to his place where his um, fiance and 3 children reside. Your Honor, he does have an associate degree and he has done audio and video production. And also May 20, he starts his culinary school. And at this point, he has a nonprofit organization that he's working for. He teaches life skills to other children and other teenage boys. Your Honor, he also started his own business for logistics. We would like to request for signature on bond, and no contact is okay with us. Thank you.
All right, for the simple battery, it would be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. For the battery, a $2,000 signature bond, pretrial level 2. Makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. 5 anger management classes. No further contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from the alleged victim's apartment. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
26, Mr. Mills.
This one is
Were you saying something, Ms. Kim?
yes, this is ICT, that PD Paul Bater's client. He wants to ask his case to be reset for a conference calendar at 11 a.m. He knows, Mr. Patel knows this client very well.
Okay, so let me, good afternoon, Mr. Mills. You've been charged in case 26 CR 003192F with criminal trespass. I take it that there's a history, Ms. Hardy?
Yes, Your Honor. Their last arrest was March 29, 2026 out of Fulton County for criminal trespass. It appears to be open under 26 CR 002091F. They have 68 cycles, 2 other open cases, 26 CR 001209F, criminal trespass and false info to law enforcement, 25 SC 007358, entering auto theft by taking. There's a felony conviction in 2021 for possession of Schedule 2 and forgery. There's a 2016 criminal trespass, 2017 criminal trespass, 2024 theft by taking, FTA from 2023 and 2025. Nothing further.
Thank you, Mr. Siraka.
Yes, Your Honor. This was the criminal trespass from May 16th at 232 Forsyth Street. That is the Greyhound bus station in Atlanta. The defendant had been given prior criminal trespass warnings. The one here, February 21st, 2026, that he was not to be on the premises. Nonetheless, he did return in this case, and he did so in violation of he did so in violation of probation under 26 CR 00439F. That was the same 232 address, Judge, sentenced in January for that offense. Another conviction from February 3rd of 2026 from the same location, 21 CR 00426 So him returning here has been a constant, and that open case is also criminal trespass at this location. Bond was amended to a UJR on, I think it was May 14th. And here we are 2 days later with that stay away was still part of the UJR. So he's in violation of that as well. The state's recommendation here, given his history, the open case is going to be a $2,000 surety. Stay away from the Greyhound bus station, 232 Forsyth Street. He cannot return there, as he's been told many, many times. We are recommending a social worker visit for BH and, if appropriate, housing. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And that should be it for this case. Oh, I saw several FTAs, 2025, 2023, and 2017.
Yes, Ms. Kim.
Yes, no objection, as long as his case gets reset to confidence calendar at 11 a.m., Your Honor. He's already
Okay.
bond. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so it'll be $1,000 good bond, stay away from the Greyhound bus station, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. And Ms. Bridgewater, let's place it also on that June 4th competency calendar at 11.
Okay, will do.
Thank you. Good
Mhm.
luck to you, Mr. Mills.
Oh, place that other one on there as well, if it's not already on there, the 26 CR 002091F.
Give it to me again, Mr.
Uh,
Swap.
yes, ma'am, I've got you. 26 CR 002091F.
Okay, thank you. Who do we have next?
Number 30, Mr. Travis. Richardson.
And this, I'm sorry, is this 30 Richardson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Richardson. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003191A with loitering and prowling and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was September 17th, 2025, for criminal trespass out of Georgia State. They have 5 cycles, arrests out of Georgia and New Jersey. Nothing further to report.
Mr. Sirocco?
Yes, Your Honor. So this was the May 16th incident took place at 165 Cortlandt Street in Atlanta. That is the Cortlandt Grand Hotel. Officers responded to a peeping Tom call at the location. They made contact with the security guard there. He explained he observed the defendant looking through windows at the rear of the hotel and had followed the defendant from the side of the hotel to the rear of the property. He was walking up to several guest room windows and looking inside. Incredibly concerning, and all of this following the criminal trespass he received on April 28th of 2026, so just recently. And he was arrested here. I did see as pretrial accounted the prior criminal trespass arrest, the most recent being 2025. And the open case in Fulton, 25 CR 005713A for criminal trespass. I saw there was a dormant bench warrant issued for that following his failure to appear. And that is the 2026 failure to appear, I believe. For the March 23rd plain arraignment calendar before Judge Roth. So with the risk of failure to appear, and with this being a very concerning set of facts, The state is going to be recommending a $4,000 total surety. We are recommending $2,000 for each charge here, social worker visit for housing and BH. Stay away from 165 Cortlandt Street in Atlanta, that Cortland Grand Hotel. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Mr. Sirocco, can you pull up the 5713 bond order and tell me
Yes, that's
who signed that and what the conditions were?
yes, Your Honor, I can.
Okay. While you do that, I'll go to Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Richardson is 36 years old, and Your Honor, he was born in New Jersey. He moved to Georgia 3 years ago, and ever since he moved to Georgia, he has been residentially challenged. He does have a one adult child, 20 years old, who is currently residing in New Jersey. He graduated from high school. Your Honor, I am recommending him for social worker, for housing, and BHET. His answers were very inconsistent and not logical. So I think he does need to have a PhD.
And
Okay.
your original order, and it was your order, Judge, was a $2,000 signature bond through the jail with a stay away from all GSU premises and property. So this wasn't part of GSU property. And then, but we did have concerns for MH at the time, I believe.
Thank you. So if we can place both those cases on the SAP calendar for June 2nd. For this case, for each charge will be a $500 good bond, makes for a total of a $1,000 good bond. A social worker visit to assess for a BHET and housing, stay away from the Cortland Grand Hotel, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Did you, Ms. Bridgewater or Ms. Young, need that other case number again?
No, Your Honor, I haven't.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You're
All
welcome.
right, good luck to you, Mr. Richardson.
All right, next got 37, Mr. White.
Good afternoon, Mr. White. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003182E with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Yes, Your Honor. Their last arrest was December the 5th, 2021 out of Clayton for DUI and child endangerment. There's 3 cycles. There's a 2017 misdemeanor conviction for DUI. Nothing further to report.
Thank you, Mr. Sirocco.
Yes, Judge, this was a May 26, 2025 incident, 2328 Campbellton Road. Officer was dispatched there, reference to a fight call, and made contact with victim here, Miss Bria Ditzel. She and the defendant, her boyfriend, she explained, have been in a relationship for 11 years at that point and resided at that location together for about 6 months. They have a 8-year-old together. The defendant had accused her of of being unfaithful and began to pull her hair, twist her right thumb. She was in a follow-up investigation. They'd spoke with her too regarding what happened. She walked to the store to get snacks, came back, and it was at that point the defendant had accused her of being picked up by someone he overheard on the phone. And while outside near the vehicle, he grabbed her shirt. And when they came back from the store later, he had bent her thumb back, grabbed her sweatshirt, began choking her with it. She had stated to police there. Officers did observe the swelling on her thumb. I had the same history that pretrial did. I believe the state's recommendation with this involving potential strangulation. Again, we haven't been able to speak with the victim yet to perform a strangulation assessment. We are recommending a $3,000 surety here. We'd recommend some anger awareness classes, as well as no further contact with Bria Ditzel, certainly out of an abundance of caution. Stay away from 2328 Campbellton Road in Atlanta, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. If we could sound for Ms. Ditzel.
If Ms. Ditzel is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Ms. Kim?
Your Honor, Mr. White is 42 years old, and he is currently residing with his mother, who is older than 65 years old. Your Honor, this happened 1 year ago, and they don't live together, and he has only one child with her, and he's paying a lot of child support to make sure that his child is well taken care of, Your Honor. He is currently gainfully employed as apartment maintenance manager. And as long as he gets third party, he has no objection to stay away from this alleged victim, Miss Dixon's place, and no contact is totally fine with him. He graduated from high school 2002, and he does have a certification for proof reading, CPO certification, and also EPA certification for air conditioning. Your Honor, he has 4 children and 1 grandchild that he is taking care of. I asked for signature on bond, Your Honor. His last case was 2021, and he didn't have any violence-related cases. We asked for a signature on bond through pretrial. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Ms. Ditzel. Stay away from the Campbellton Road address. Third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, let's get number 3, Mr. Carter.
Good afternoon, Mr. Carter. You have been charged in case 26 CR 003162C with 1 misdemeanor offense. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Their last arrest was July 23rd, 2010 out of Cobb for forgery. They have 38 cycles with arrests out of Georgia and Tennessee. Was a misdemeanor for criminal trespass in 2004, forgery in 2009. Nothing further to report.
Tucker?
$100 good bond with conditions no further contact with Renisha Dossie and to stay away from Marta. These facts allege the defendant was exiting the train as the victim was getting on the train, so the defendant grabbed her butt. She then, got off the train. She followed him to get police officers, and when officers arrived, several independent witnesses were pointing at her, saying that he grabbed her butt. So these are alarming facts and between random parties. So we're asking for a $2,500 good bond with conditions no further contact and to stay away from Marta.
Ms. Rosenhoover?
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Carter is 63 years old. He's resided here in Georgia for the past 53 years. His mother, sister, and 5 grown children all reside in Georgia as well. He does have an updated address to give to the clerk's office. I can also supply that in the chat below, but he does have a good address to reside. He has earned his GED and also completed 1 year of college. He's currently retired and receives Social Security. Judge, I think I heard that the last arrest was about 10 years ago, though I could be mistaken. Given that, we would request a signature bond through pretrial services. Thank you.
Okay. Contact with Ms. Darcy. Abide by any MARTA restrictions. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Carter.
What was the bond
Judge,
amount?
what was that amount?
$5,000 signature bond through pretrial. Okay. So I take it that the rest of the cases are either waivers or resets?
Oh, I've got 23 in the room.
Oh, okay.
And after loss, it will be the waivers.
Okay.
We may want to go off the Zoom for 23, Judge, as well as which one is. There's a few that we should probably go off the live stream for, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
So this is Mr. Lawson coming now, so if we can go off of the YouTube